Hello YouTube and welcome back to the second episode of our BSA Firebird rebuild. It's freezing cold in the garage, there's frost outside. Not pleasant, but part of life of a bike restorer. Anyway, since the first episode I've been doing some more research onto the bike, which has been helped by the arrival of the correct parts list. The high-level mudguard, which I mentioned, appears to be a bit of a mystery. There are two listed in the parts book, but a search hasn't shown up any different so far. There are original pictures online of 71s with and without the high-level mudguard in America, which makes you think it wasn't actually an export fitment at all. It appears to be some sort of option. And there's also a picture in Roy Bacon's book from many, many years ago, which shows the A70 fitted with the same high-level mudguard that's on my Firebird. So I have to assume that you could just order it at the time, make your mind up which one you wanted, and that's what you got. The black painted drum, which I thought was 72 only. I have found pictures of 71s with it fitted and with the polished mudguard. So again, there seems to be a bit of BSA crossover uncertainty in parts fitment. I've seen them with high-level chrome and high-level black exhaust, both claiming to be 71 bikes, one of which was original with chrome, one of which was original with black. So clearly there's some sort of changeover period in 71. And the dove grey to black, which I mentioned on the colour of the frame, appears to have taken place around April, May. But again, even amongst BSA experts, there seems to be some uncertainty as to the exact date, and there certainly doesn't seem to be any frame numbers. So it looks like this project will be difficult, shall we say, to get the exact specifications for, which is okay, because frankly, I'm not really that bothered. Anyway, the next thing that came in the post, yippee, is the correct workshop manual, which is going to be very useful because I don't know a lot about BSAs. So hopefully everything I need to know will be contained in this. And if it isn't, I'll let you know. And then the final thing, which again, because I've got a terrible memory and I'm very old and quite befuddled, quite honestly, is that I said I would put a link in for the book about the late BSA period in the first video, which I forgot all about. So, to rectify that, here is the book. And an exceptionally good book it is too. It's a great read, I really enjoyed it, and it's all about the last models that BSA made, stroke, were about to make, stroke, should have made. Anyway, that's where I found out about the missing year colour. A very good book, I recommend it. And then finally, to celebrate the arrival of the channel, my daughter bought me a new workshop mug, which, you know, is really quite dull. Obviously it holds tea and coffee, which is its main purpose. I have some now, so I'm going to have a last warming drink and then we'll move on to stripping the bike down. Cheers. Lovely. The first job is to get the seat off. Now there should be a check strap, which I assume is that, which would have been attached there to stop it opening all the way, but that's gone. So I think it should just slide off. We shall see. Nope, I was wrong. So I'm going to have to undo one of these to let it slide because the other one moves in the other direction. So with that off, should slide forward and off. So let's find the appropriate size spanner. 7/16, so we'll take this one off. Staying tight. Actually, while I'm working on this, I've just noticed the seat cover, although in remarkably scabby condition, has been replaced once before by the rather messy trimming that's gone on the inside. So it has been recovered once already. Right. Pin, second pin just fell off. So that's the seat. Tank trim panel next. 2 crosshead screws. They're actually set screws with a crosshead. Up it pops. Take the cap off. And there it goes. Showing a rather crusty tank underside. Under the trim, we've got your standard centre bolt tank fitting that BSA used for many years, which I will undo now. I'm going to have to find a deep socket. Let's hope I've got one that size. Quick squirt of releasing fluid. 1/2-inch socket. Nope, not deep enough. I've got it this far out using the pliers, holding on to the very end of the bolt. But obviously there's not enough left now to grab, so I'm just going to put some tension on the bolt by using a flat blade jamming it against the side, which hopefully will be enough to turn the nut off. Obviously whatever is in the frame isn't holding it anymore as it should. I think it's just a rubber bush in these, but as I say, I don't know a lot about BSAs. Ta-da! Right, nuts off, which is good. So now we need to try and get the various washers out. One. Come on. Don't be awkward. Right. I'll leave that until I've disconnected the fuel lines. And then as I lift the tank, they'll come out with it. There's a fuel line to the bottom of each carburettor. One here and a corresponding one on the other side. And then there is also a link pipe running between the two carbs. So I'm going to take off each of the feed pipes here and on the other side, which hopefully will then allow us to just lift the tank straight up and off. So that if they don't come off, I'll just cut them, because they're all going to have to be replaced anyway. So there's no point wasting time. That has moved. Don't want to get in the way of the camera. Because there's not much point you looking at pictures of my hand. It's rather dull. Right. So, let's see if that rigid old plastic wants to come off. And no, it doesn't. So, knife time. Kitchen raided. Let's see if it'll cut through this. There's no petrol in the tank that I'm aware of, Seems to be bone dry. That's that cut. I'll just go and do the other side, and I'm filming that. You'll get the idea. Right, second line's cut. There is no fuel as I thought, so this should just lift off. Like so. But no, there's something holding it. Let me just go and have a look. Hard fuel line is just I wanted to move out of the way. There we go. Right, tank off. I'll rescue the washers. So inside the tank there's a rubber bung, which is actually in quite good condition. And they're the washers I couldn't get before. So that's reusable, I think. That will come out. There we go. It's not. That should catch in there. So clearly there must be a bit of wear there because it's just turned. I'll have to try and straighten those out a little bit before the tank goes back on. Anyway, now it's off. You can clearly see the large spine frame. And according to what I've read, the oil cap was originally meant to be up here, which is like the Yamaha 500 XTs ended up doing, which would have given all this extra capacity. But BSA apparently had trouble with the oil foaming, and by bringing it back down here that prevented that, but also reduced the capacity enormously. So that's just a tank rubber support that's been stuck on with gaffer tape. Not quite sure what was going under that one. It's very stuck. Oh, I'll get that off later. There we are. All the rubber pipes, there's an oil return pipe up here. It's all crusty. There we go. At least the tank's off and we can see what we're doing. So the next step will be, I think, carburetors off, exhaust off. I'll probably strip the top end. I'll strip the clutch and associated components on that side, which will hopefully lighten the weight of the motor because I'm not as strong as I used to be, and I really don't fancy hiking this out of the frame as it is at the minute. So that'll be the next job. Silencer's off next, I think, probably then the exhaust pipes. So we've got clamps top and bottom, a securing nut here which appears to be got a wad of paper behind it, cloth, sorry, to pack it out slightly, and then a non-standard bracket going back to what I hope is the original Firebird bracket. Looks right, but we shall see. So let's start with this one. Looks a bit rusty, hopefully it'll come off. Oh no, that's tight. No. Oh dear. Let's see if we get any movement on this then. No. Let me go and try and find something else. This is corroded, as you just saw, rusted, can't get the socket on it properly. So I'm going to try and take this off, which hopefully will allow me to knock that back. If that's too tight, I'll try and twist it and cut it because it doesn't want to turn. So this is going to have to come off first. This is a very close fit to the air filter. In fact, we'll try and get that off as well, I think. Give myself a bit more room. Oh dear me. See if we get any joy with this. Yes. We have some turning at the back. What on earth's in the area there? Oh, this isn't going well at all. That's just turning, I can't get anything on it. Oh dear, this is not being well thought out. Okay, let's go back to our original plan and try and get this off. Right, now then. Can I get anything on that now? No is the answer. Right, I'll try the bottom one. Oh, right. Try that. Nearly. Try again. This is very awkward. I need to try and hold stand and move that. Is that going to come off? No. Right. Just going to try tapping that. I've disconnected the second bracket at the back, which is also really fiddly to get to. The silencers will not come undone because the fittings are rounded. So I'm going to have to take them off at this end and split them later. So hopefully, if these will undo and allow me to take the pipes off the bike. Oops. Now, right, no sign of that wanting to shift. Oh, that's why, because we've got another bracket down here. Right. Right, the front engine mount holds both by these brackets, which I didn't realise. I thought one of them was separate. So hopefully when we get the nut off this, things will start to move. Okay, let's see if we can tap that through. No, we can't. So let's go and find something to knock it through with. Got to get a longer punch. It's a lot easier. Right, that should free those off. But will it? No. No. Let's double check there's nothing else holding them on. And there isn't. Right. Wiggle time. Nope. Let's get my soft hammer. Definitely getting some movement. It's very small. Oh. As you can see, it's come out a quarter of an inch maybe. Come on. There we go. Hooray. Right, let's try a second one. It's absolutely solid. Okay, I'm going to have to think of something else. Hang on, I'll come back to it. We've had to think about this. Okay, I've had 5 minutes of tapping, wiggling. I'll put some localised heat into the head with a gas torch, like this, followed by some releasing oil. And now we're going to go down the old-fashioned route of a block of wood and a lump hammer, because otherwise this thing isn't coming off. So, here goes nothing. It's moving round now, which is an improvement. Let's see if we can get some movement this way. It's definitely moving up and down, so a bit more lubricating oil. Tap it down again. Well, you're going to come back to me again because we're still getting nothing. Okay, we're 7 minutes in. More heat, more wiggling, more releasing fluid. I think we're about to go. So some more gentle persuasion at the back end, and who knows. Get it over here. Hoorah! Finally. It's not even badly corroded, but that was one tight fair. Okay, the downpipes, exhaust pipes, seem to be in pretty good condition. I'm sure they'll clean. The silencers are not. I'll cut them off because these bolts that hold them are rotten solid. And buy the correct ones.